Blog Talk Radio.
Writing your book is the easy part. Promoting your book so readers can find and purchase it is the hard part. Welcome to the Author Chat Show, hosted by author-publisher Linda D. Brown. Follow us at www.facebook.com/authorchat. And to contact the show to promote your book, contact me at theauthorchatshow@gmail.com. Stay tuned and listen to today's show.
All right. Good afternoon, and welcome back to part 2 of the Author Chat Show with Linda D. Brown. My guest for this hour is going to be author Nefretiti A. Morant. She's going to be chatting with me about her book, Victory, A Brooklyn Love Story. This will be Nefretiti's first time on the show, so before we bring her on, let's go ahead and get a word from today's sponsor.
Authors, do you have a marketing plan and budget to promote your books? The Author Chat Guide to Promoting Your Book on a Shoestring Budget, written by best-selling author Linda D. Brown, host of the Author Chat podcast, has a list of author service providers eager to help you sell more books. To get your copy today, log on to smashwords.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. Again, today's guest is author Nefretiti A. Morant. She's going to be chatting with me about her new book, Victory, A Brooklyn Love Story. This is Nefretiti's first time on the show, so let's bring her on with a warm Author Chat welcome. Nefretiti, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you doing? It's a pleasure to be here.
I am doing. Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. I do apologize. We've been running into some technical issues this morning. I'm not sure if it's the weather or what, but I thank you so much for being patient, Nefretiti. Now, since this is your first time on the show, why don't we get started by you telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am a writer, diehard. I worked in the social services field for 10 years before I decided to pursue writing full-time. I started originally with a poetry blog, so I am a poet by heart. But I tried my hand at novels and loved it so much that I've written 7 in the last few months. So I feel very blessed to be someone who is able to pursue their passions and has been allowed to do so. And it's quite an honor, pursuing your dreams.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Nefretiti, you have a very unique upbringing, and I think this is just so fascinating. You were actually born in the United Kingdom to Barbadian parents. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Great. Have you had a chance? I'm sorry?
I said usually that is a stumping point when asked my nationality or where I'm from. I usually have to pause for a minute. But, yes, I don't know much about England. I was just born there. My father was in the Air Force. My parents had the privilege of being able to travel to a few different countries while he was stationed, and I was happened to be born in England. But I only lived there for 3 months, so I didn't get that wonderful accent.
But you have the Barbados accent, absolutely. But now, did that allow you to have dual citizenships in both countries?
It sure did.
Mm-hmm. Great. Okay.
That was pretty cool.
Great. Mm-hmm. Okay, wonderful. Okay, then you also have a graduate. You graduated from the University of Pittsburgh with a bachelor's degree in psychology. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Great. And how long?
Development while writing.
Okay. That's okay. And how long have you been writing?
For about, well, I always wrote. I started writing poetry when I was in my teens. And in college I flirted with short stories, but never anything concrete. And once I started writing, I kind of figured that that was something that a dreamer does, and I decided I needed to make money. So I started working, and I didn't write for 10 years until about 3 years ago. I decided I wanted more, and I tried my hand at writing. I started my poetry blog, and sometimes you don't really know the concrete path, but you just see the few feet in front of you, and I started writing, and from there it just opened up a whirlwind of things.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, the book that we're going to be talking about today, Victory, A Brooklyn Love Story, is this your first fiction novel?
No, it's not. It's actually my seventh. It is my first standalone novel. My previous, I have a poetry book, and I have 5 books before this, Perspectives, the saga, which follows 7 individuals from Queens, New York. But Brooklyn is my first book that is just on its own. It's not a series. It's not going to be a series. It's just a cute love story about a girl who is successful and follows her dream of becoming a doctor. But along the way, she, in her focus and drive to become successful, she kind of ignored her need for love or any type of relationships because of her painful experience in her first relationship. So it's a story about her journey and learning how to love again and trust. And sometimes you got to leap out there on faith when it comes to love.
Absolutely. Who are your main characters in your book, Victory?
Victory is the main character. She's a pediatrician who lives in Atlanta, but she's originally from Brooklyn. There's Justice. He is a record producer of a jazz label called House of Jazz, and another character is named Deja. She is Justice's wife. She is a social services supervisor, and her and Justice meet kind of impromptu, but they get married and start a family. So those are the 3 main characters of the book.
Those are the 3 main characters of the book. Okay, and like you said, it's basically a story of. Now, was Victory married before she ran back into her old love, if I'm reading this correctly?
No, she was not married. She never got married. She had a relationship that was kind of juvenile, teenage until the early adult years, and when she was accepted into med school, she made that her focus, and she kind of hoped that her love would, be truthful because everybody in her family pushed her to go to college and accomplish this thing that she so much wanted. But given the distance and the lack of discipline, her love kind of strayed. So once that didn't go so well, she focused on school.
Okay, great. Now, you're getting some wonderful reviews about this book on Amazon. Now, tell us, this is only available in the Kindle format, is that correct?
That's correct. No, it's also on paperback. It's also on paperback. I apologize for that.
It's also paperback? Okay, great. All right. And again, because I'm pulling up the Kindle, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to your Amazon page here. There we go. Okay. And, I see the Kindle edition. I want to give them a price for the paperback because we still have some old schools that prefer to have the paperback along with the
None of my paperbacks are priced over $10.
Okay, great. Now, I just want to just kind of let you know that you might want to just check your Amazon page because I'm seeing all your other books in the paperback, but for some reason I'm not showing the A Brooklyn Victory, A Brooklyn Love Story. Now, first, let me commend you on this awesome cover. You did a great job with the cover. Did you do the design on the cover yourself?
No, I had a freelance worker help me out with the cover.
Okay.
I can't take
they
the credit for it.
Can't take the credit for that. Okay, you did a great job on it. Did you also do a because a lot of my listeners are also self-published authors or first-time authors. Did you also do a book trailer for your book?
For this one, I did not. But that's in the works.
Okay. Great. Please let me know. Go ahead, sweetie. I'm sorry.
I do have a character bio that goes into, it lets you know a little bit about the characters and their upbringing, their field of work on my website. So if you wanted to, meet the characters and get a feel for them before you actually plunge into buying the book, you can do so on NefretitiA.com.
Okay, NefretitiA.com?
That's correct.
Okay, great. All right, so you can go there. We'll put that on the Author Chat Facebook fan page so that they can catch you there. And I love the covers, actually, on all of your books. This is just absolutely awesome, Nefretiti. And again, like you said, it's so wonderful when you can actually step out and with your passion is your dream of writing and actually publishing your own book. And to be able to do that, I tell you, there's just no other feeling in the world when you're doing the thing that you think that God has truly created you to do, and you're able to do it. Now, that being said, tell me who your target audience would be for this book.
I'd have to say young adults and adults. Well, I have to say that young adults could range up until 60, 70. I feel that you're as young as you feel you are. My fan base so far has been very broad. I have people who are as young as 19 telling me that they love my book and they can relate to some of my characters, and then people as mature as 60 saying that they can relate to my characters. So my fan base is pretty broad. My characters are not, their age ranges vary. So I have characters that are as young as 17, 18, and then characters that are as mature as 70. So so you get the feel of it's more of a feel from different perspectives of people and people from all walks of life. That would be my target audience, because I feel like really age is a defining factor, but not that much so. We basically want the same things out of life, and that is to have some type of fulfillment, some type of love, some type of meaning. So I try to bring that to all of my characters. Most of them are striving to accomplish something or realize something broader out of life. So.
Okay. Well, you actually just answered the next question that I was going to ask you, and that was, exactly what would you like your readers to take or understand with your book? What message are you trying to get across? And I think you just actually answered that very beautifully, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Life is what you make it. No matter what background or what walk of life, you have the power to create the type of reality that you want to experience. That has been my understanding or my take from life so far in my 35 years, and I feel like that is what people ultimately want to. That is what we strive towards.
Right. Okay. Now tell me, how are you promoting your book? This is one thing that we really talk about on this show is, and you hear it at the beginning of my message. Writing your book is actually the easy part. Getting your book into the hands of readers is really a little bit more complicated. Tell us what you're doing to market your books to your target audience.
That is so true. I didn't realize that until I actually finished my first book. I am using social media, the internet, as far as blog appearances, my own personal blog, Twitter, guest interviews on shows like this. That has been my main form of getting my book to the masses. Flyers in my local supermarket, Chinese food spot, etc. Everywhere I go, everyone I meet, I'm letting them know. I'm giving them flyers. That's basically been how I've been promoting so far.
Okay. And do you have any advice for new authors that are looking for ways to that are thinking about even publishing their book? from the things that you've learned from, because you've got currently, what, did you say 8 books out there?
This will be my 7th one. Victory is the 7th.
7 books, okay. What advice would you give new authors looking to not only just publish their books, but actually going through the writing process? We learn a lot in this process. What advice would you give them?
Number one, believe in yourself. That I think is the biggest asset that you can have, and be able to and ready to give back. The more people you help, the more focused you feel about what you're doing, and the more people you'll touch, the more potential buyers you have, and people who you'll spread your name and get recognition. And meet people who are trying to do the same thing you're trying to do. I mean, giving support is ultimately how it works. So I think that's been what I have learned the most, is that the more people you speak to and help and try to keep in your circle of writers, per se, or readers, the better off you are as far as marketing. Because people like to, me personally, I like to buy from someone that I like. So you have to just be yourself and be willing to put yourself a little bit out there and speak to people, get to know people. Even if it is as simple as starting a conversation with someone on the bus. I mean, that's really how word of mouth works. People have to actually know who you are.
Exactly. Now you're currently in the New York City area, is that correct?
Oh, no, I moved to Atlanta about 6 months ago. So I'm currently living in Georgia.
You're in Georgia.
I am in Georgia, but I grew up in New York.
Great. Okay, because I just had an author on from also lives in Atlanta, Georgia, which tends to be what we call the Black Hollywood now. So have you had a chance to get your books into your local library? Have you connected with them to partner with them, Nefretiti?
I have. I'm actually in Gwinnett County, and I have some of my books available to be loaned out from the Gwinnett County Library, which is in the part of Georgia that I live in. And they're available also through a lot of different buyers and through Creative Space, because that's what I use for the paperback. So it's available through different universities and libraries across the country. But I reached out to the one in my area to try to, and I drop flyers by every so often. I'm a flyer fan. Okay. And Nefretiti, one thing that I've noticed once I started, because my books came out starting in 2010, now I find myself also assisting other authors as far as more like a book coach, so that way they can keep all their royalties and everything. Are you also, or is that something that you're doing with your business because I know you said you're writing full time, and I know sometimes as we wait on these royalty checks, we have to have some type of other income coming in. What else are you doing out there to assist other people with writing books if you've been approached by someone to help them with their book? Yes, I also have an indie author book club on my website where
Okay, sweetie, I can't hear you. I lost you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Much better.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay.
I have an indie author website, a book club, on my website where I help promote other authors who are independent and publishing to get the word about their book out there. So that's one way that I've been giving back.
Great. And how we keep interrupting each other. I'm sorry. And how can authors that are looking for ways to promote their book, how can they connect with you to take advantage of your indie author promotion service?
Oh, they can email me at ebooksbynef@nefretitiem.com. Image of their book, JPEG image of their book, a short description, a link to where their books can be bought, and also links to their social media contacts. And I'll be happy to feature them. Okay.
And one way that Nefretiti connected with me is, believe it or not, and people that listen to the show on a regular basis know, I have what we call a Fiverr gig, which is wonderful for authors to find people to help them promote their books. So you also have a Fiverr gig, is that correct?
I sure do. So that's
now. How's that going for you? Okay, how's Fiverr working for you?
I've only featured a few authors through Fiverr. Most of the authors that I've been featuring on my website have been through just word of mouth and letting them know that I'd be willing to get them a feature on my website.
Great. Awesome. Okay. Now, are you currently working on a new project, Nefretiti?
I sure am. My next book, Miss Calloway, is a book about a young attorney from Brooklyn, New York, who is trying to find some siblings that she has found out about once her father passed away. And in the process of finding these siblings, she meets an array of colorful characters, and she also meets a love interest. So it's a page turner, plot twister book. But I'm working on that, and I have some other things that are in the works. But that is the next book up from eBooks.
Right. Okay. And since you're in the Georgia area, can we find your books at the local bookstores there?
You sure can. There's a bookstore called Africana Books in Jonesboro, Georgia, which presently has my books for sale. And not so many yet, as I am new to the Georgia area, but I'm working on getting it in more stores in my local community.
Great. Now this is off the topics of books. How do you like Atlanta? I actually have, my mother grew up not too far from there. She was in a different suburb. Do you like Atlanta, Georgia?
I love it. I feel like it's the best of both worlds. It gives you the fast-paced city if you want it, suburb if you want it. A lot slower pace, as I have 2 children, so I really like that for my kids.
Okay.
It's a much different pace than New York, but it's something that I have welcomed with open arms.
Great. And how long have you been there?
6 months.
Great. Oh, yeah, you are a newbie.
Yeah, brand new.
Awesome. Well, our time is winding down. We wish you all the best with your books. She's got several of them out there. And, again, you can log on to Amazon.com. Victory, A Brooklyn Love Story. Again, it's the Kindle edition is $2.99. I'm still trying to see if I can get the paperback edition to come up so I can give them a price on that.
Check it out right now.
Would you please? Yeah, because you got to watch Amazon sometimes. But now let me ask you a question because I love the book cover. That's not you on the cover because that looks very much like your not though, right?
My husband says that all the time. No, it's not actually me.
Yeah, it looks like you when I see you. As a matter of fact, listeners, her cover features the young lady who I'm assuming is Brooklyn. And honestly, the first person that I think of when I see this picture is Rihanna, who is also from Barbados.
Yes, that is true.
Now,
I didn't even make that.
That is so true. Absolutely. Is there a final word that you'd like to leave with my audience before I let you go?
I'd just like to say thank you to you for having me on the show, and go out and get that book, Victory of the Brooklyn Love Story. Is guaranteed to entertain and satisfy your literary senses.
Well, I thank you so much for coming on the show. Next week, look for me to order a couple of gigs from you for my books. Again, I think this is a great way for people to get their books out into the hands of thousands of people that are outside of your own comfort zone or your sphere of influence because you're using other people and their social media sites to really expose your book. So congratulations on both your books and also joining us on Fiverr. I wish you the best. And the next time you have another book that you'd like to come out, because I also just do the $5 gig where I just promote your books on my social media, feel free to contact me so that we can go ahead and do that together, okay?
Yes, I look forward to that.
All righty, great. Enjoy the rest of your
Pleasure.
Sunday. All right, and thanks so much for sharing your book with my listening audience, sweetie. You take care of yourself.
All right, you have a blessed one, Linda.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so that was author Nefretiti A. Morant, and she's spelling that last name Morant. And Nefretiti is just like it sounds. And I told her I was a huge fan of Queen Nefretiti growing up. As soon as I heard about her in grade school when they talked about the queens and the kings, Queen Nefretiti, for some reason that name just really resonated with me. Again, so her book is called Victory, A Brooklyn Love Story. We are currently seeing it on Amazon in the Kindle edition. And again, it's $2.99. She's getting some great reviews on that. I'm going to go and see real quick if I can find her on Barnes & Noble and see if they have a price for her book there. Because, she definitely mentioned that she has books on in paperback, and we definitely want to make sure that if you prefer to read a book as opposed to the Kindle, that you can go out and order a copy. And always remember, even if we are indie authors, you can go to your local Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Borders. I don't think Borders is around anymore. And request our book. What they'll do is they'll actually, unless your book has really generated some buzz, they'll have it there. If not, all they have to do is just order it. It only takes about 3 days for them to contact you to let you know that the book is available for you to pick up. And I tell you, we are doing the exact same things that the big authors are doing using traditional publishers. And yes, I was able to find Nefretiti's book on Barnes & Noble. And again, it's Victory, A Brooklyn Love Story. You can purchase it on Barnes & Noble for $8.64 for the paperback. And she's going to check with Amazon to see why her paperback book is not showing. Thank you so much for joining us today. Our show is beginning to pick up. Next week, I'm very excited to have, I'll be doing an interview on next week, Wednesday, with are you ready for this? She's a realtor, and she basically stages a lot of the listings that she works with, her and her partner, her real estate partner. They're in Miami, Florida, and they've actually been featured on $1 Million Listings Miami. So if you're a big HGTV fan, you'll probably recognize her voice, her picture, once we get the Blog Talk player together with her pictures of her listings and her face. So I'm really excited, since I'm also back into the real estate business, being able to assist my good friend Nell Watts with her real estate business, kind of helping behind the scenes. I had a business in the 90s, but unfortunately I got sick and I had to let it go. So it's great that God was able to restore that back to me. And since I'm 20 years older, it really helps that I do it behind the scenes as opposed to dealing with clients like Nell does. Nell has the patience of a saint. God's still working on me and my patience, and I'm going to be real honest with you. I'm going to also be creating a podcast for Nell Watts. She's taken over what I used to do back in the 90s. I used to have an actual cable television show called What's New in Real Estate, and now we're going to go ahead and tailor that to her business, Nell Watts, What's New in Real Estate, and it's going to be a podcast which allows you to listen to it on your mobile phone while you're at work. You can download it and turn it into a audio, like even if you want to put it on a CD, you can download it that way. So it's really I have some great things. God is so faithful to really be blessing me as I transition, just like Nefretiti. I transitioned from a full-time job to just working for myself, and I'm going to tell you, I'm having an absolute ball. God is providing, and I just thank him for everything. So I also want to remind you that if you're an author and if you need some help promoting your book, contact me at theauthorchatshow@gmail.com. Again, that's theauthorchatshow@gmail.com, and we'll get you on the show. It's a $10 booking fee, but that booking fee also includes a copy of my book, The Author Chat Guide to Promoting Your Book on a Shoestring Budget, And what it does is just gives you a list of author service providers, just like Nefretiti has her Fiverr gig where she promotes authors. I have a couple of gigs on there where I help promote authors, and it's just we've got Miss Paulette Harper, who actually does Right Now virtual book tour. I use her a lot. She's in there. Michelle, what is Michelle's name? She's going to shoot me. Cornwell Jordan is also listed in there. BK Walker. These are great people that they're eager to help you promote your book. So thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to go ahead and log off. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll catch you here next time on the Arthur Chat Show. Good night.